YouTube. Trying to see. Okay. Y'all excuse my little patches on my face. They my acne patches. You know, I've been trying skincare because I'm going through another transformation. I know it's gonna be my last transformation. I had to close a book, my complete book this week, for all my family, y'all. It feels good. I know what I got to do now. It don't it don't hurt. It don't hurt at all. And I had to let go a child. I had to really let go a child, and letting him go was for the best. I know a lot of people say, not your child. When you got to walk away, you just have to walk away. I always been a woman of detachment. Um, on this assignment of being chosen is another whole level of life for me. I got to go on my TikTok too. Come over there and check me out on Spiritual Therapist as well, because I'm gonna break it down over there. As soon as I get off of here, I'm gonna try to do 2 lives tonight. I mean today and tonight as well, because I got so much to cover and break down. On my TikTok, it's a lot more people over there interacting. It's much faster to build followers. That's what they call it. I'm not calling y'all no followers, because over here you're gonna follow Christ. Um, I don't like people to follow me. So when you hit the follow, subscribe button over here, you're subscribing because you want to know about Christ. That's what it is about me. But because I have a thing with people following me. Like being chosen, people like my personality, people like the way I am. I'm not afraid. I don't have no fear. I take a risk. I'm just fearless. And that's a great thing to be. But then a lot of people, it creates a lot of envy and jealousy, with people around you. They get a little too comfortable with me. And that's the scary part about it, because as a soul that I am, I don't believe in getting too comfortable with individuals. I believe, you shouldn't, even in a relationship, you should give that relationship some air. If y'all go off and go out on a trip, then they come home and they want to go out for a while. I think relationships should have air in it as well, me time, because you got to pour back into yourself regardless. And what I mean by pouring back into yourself, loving on yourself, caring for yourself, being there for yourself, such things of that nature. But I want to break something down today. I do my little 15-second shorts. I'm really feeling them 15-second shorts. Believe it or not, getting up here on these platforms and talking, it drains me. It really does drain me. But I'm going to give it all I got. You get what I'm saying? We're going to do this. This is my mission. I got to get on it. I never forget my friend. He used to tell me, I haven't talked to him in a while though, but he used to tell me, he'd say, it's all up to you. It's all up to you. And I used to be thinking that he was smart. I thought he was trying to be a little cocky with me. You feel me? And when I met him, I was just um, actually about to experience major warfare. And I did start experience major warfare as we were talking as friends, just friends. But, I was still a little bit my wicked self. When I met him, I was still that flirty type of female, I still have some of my wicked ways that I did had to overcome. He met me in the middle of my convert and my transferring over into the light. So when I met him, I was instantly like, I was my I can tell it now, because it's the truth though, and I did laugh about it a lot. But the Almighty wants you to have an honest heart. And when he met me, I think it was 2023. When I met him, I seen him online. It was 2023, I think it was. And I reached out to him with a one-on-one, because what he was talking, it was like, man, you got the same type of lifestyle. Not that we were the same people, but we went through and battled some same thing. I think I had a little more harder lifestyle than he did. He did have his dad. I didn't have a dad at all. It wasn't a dad present in my life at all. That was a thing that he didn't have. But when it came to our moms, the mommy thing, my mom was very demonic. She was very dark. And now I understand why she was dark. She lost her mother, and she heard it over her mom losing her mom. Her and her mom was real close, from what I was told. I didn't meet my grandmother like that. I met her, but I was like 4 when she passed away. I was 4, 3 or 4. 4. She passed away in 79. So I was 4 years old. And I didn't get much to know her, but I knew of her. I can remember small bits and pieces of her. But, my mom and her was real close. She lived with her. My mother lived with her mother all her life. And she didn't know how to be independent. And that's a scarcity tactic for parents that have their children under their wing, because I did it to mine, but then I had to release them in traumatizing way, which it was very devastating in the beginning, but now I understand it all. But when I used to approach guys, and I want to talk about covert, and this is what I'm talking about. When I'm speaking about today is from me being in darkness and how it got me into understanding of walking in the light, being right, doing the right thing, having the right mind, being healthy, talking healthy, valuing myself, not valuing the things of this world. So it's going to be maybe a part 2 and 3, because I'm going to break a lot of things down to you all, and what to expect if you decide you want to walk with the all. You can take whatever I'm bringing to these videos, these lives, these cameras. Believe me, I'm talking from major experiences, and I'm talking from covert and overcoming the warfare, the dysfunctional ways and traits. I know that the world got titles and terms for demons, but a demon is a demon. A demon is very, very cold-hearted entities. They're very cold-hearted. They don't care about your age, your shape, your size, your careers. The thing about when you dealing with Satan and you are in his world, he gonna give you everything your heart desired, anything you ask for. If you want to be a billionaire, he'll let you get to that point. He will get you connected with an individual that's dark. I forgot to press on the nail, y'all. Give me a minute. And it gets you connected to somebody that's dark. But you're gonna have to interact with some dark things, some dark ways. You have to do something dark to be in his presence. If you want to prosper, you have to take shortcuts with Satan. You got to do dirty things when you're dealing in darkness. That's why it's very important to know who you're dealing with and who you're around, and really actually take accountability for the things you got into, which I see a lot of people don't like to do. And it ain't just about, I don't do the narcissist thing. I know some people have to get out of that, but when you get demonic traits, and like I said, I've been around a lot of manipulators in my lifetime. I even had a little bit of manipulating traits, and I was manipulating with my flirtiness. I would manipulate guys, making them believe that I wanted them, and that's a form of manipulation, but I did it with flirtiness. I would flirt with them, tell them things they want to hear, see how their body language was gonna see how their body language was gonna respond to my words. I was a Proverbs 7 woman before, got that smooth talk, knew how to say all the right things, make a man really want me. And then when I get him, I didn't want him, or I flirt with him for a long period of time, turn him on to a degree where he thinking that it's going to be. And I was a teaser. I was a big teaser. That's a form of manipulation. I was a big manipulator in the flirting department. But it wasn't really that I wanted to do. It's just that I got off of flirting with guys, and just to see the excitement in their eyes, or the excitement of their body language, of the words I was speaking. So that was a form of manipulation, because in their head I was selling them a dream that wasn't gonna come true. It was just, I like flirting, and I like flirting big. I was a big flirter, like humongous flirter, enormous, atomic. I was just that type of woman, and didn't mean anything by it, but it was a lot of things meant by it, meaning that I had demonic spirits that that lust spirit that was so strong on me that I never went back to close that portal. And I'm going to talk about lust today, because that is something that we really need to talk about. A lot of people are afraid to talk about the lust, and I'm gonna break the demons down and explain why you're doing what you're doing. The only demon that I can't too much explain is fear. The spirit of fear. I can't explain that one too much, but I've been around people that have, a lot of people that have fear. Now, the only way I can talk about the fear, demonic spirit, is loving somebody. Now, I loved my kids. I gave my kids my all, but that's a different type of love. When it come to relationships, I did not love in my relationships. I just played around in my relationships. As a woman, I really did, because I came up around nothing but Satan's playground. Everybody in my household was demonic. So there was no love in my households. And I said households because I lived around a lot of different people. I didn't have a stable house. So I can't say, well, in my house, me and my family, we really didn't grow up, but we grew up enough where we knew that we were brother. I'm putting on nails, y'all. Brother and sister. That's how much we grew up, but we didn't grow up real heavy with each other. But I want to talk about the lust spirit. The lust spirit comes in many different forms. Many different forms. The lust spirit come in many different forms. Give me a second, y'all. I'm pressing on as I talk. Give me 1 minute. I'm doing my nails too. I got some nails missing. Many different forms the lust demon come up with. When you're growing up in a household that is dark, as I always spoke on, I had been molested as a child. And being molested as a child is a whole nother level of life. As a young girl, I knew it was wrong. It felt wrong. It didn't feel well at all. But when I spoke up about it, a lot of times in these families, they try to hush your mouth. They try to hush you up. They'll go to any measures to keep you quiet. So before they could get me, before I could go out in public or go out amongst people and tell people what was going on in the household, they try to move me out the city. They put me in group homes. They put me in group homes. They put me far away in mental wards. You know, I've been through all of that, and mental wards and all that other stuff. Had me in evaluations, doing tests on my brain. You know how they doing these medical fields with these therapists and all these other extra people that feel entitled to your soul. I'm gonna put it that way. That felt entitled to my life. And I used to tell those people when I went to the mental wards and stuff like that, I'd be like, it's nothing wrong with me. I'm being abused, which I was. But they didn't want to hear my side of the story. They immediately took my grandfather, girlfriend, not wife, but girlfriend. They were of age, but they were forbidden to marry because it would have stopped her Social Security from coming from her husband, and it would have stopped my grandfather's Social Security coming from his wife, which was my biological grandmother. So they didn't marry because of money. And y'all got to understand, this is what goes down really in these bloodlines and in these lineages. A lot of people forbidden to marry or to get into, they'll go with each other, but they forbidden to marry because of money purposes. It stops their money. So if I marry this man, it's gonna stop my money from coming from my husband, my deceased husband. And that's how men do with their deceased wife. I'm not marrying nobody else because it's going to stop my money from coming in. Money is the root of all evil. So when a man or a woman decide that they don't want to marry you, it's not all the time that they don't like commitment. It's other things like my money. I got money flowing here, or I got money flowing there. Sometimes it's a lot of money that they're gravitated to, knowing that it's not even going to be with them eventually. It's going to perish with them. So a lot of people, they don't marry because of that. And that's what my grandfather and his girlfriend did for years. She even passed away while they were still going together. So she passed away in fornication. You already know the word of God tells you what happens when you are in a position of fornication. Your soul is done for. It's gone because they knew better. It ain't like they didn't go into church. They didn't hear the word of God. It ain't like they didn't play with God either, because they really did. But that's why he didn't marry her, because of the money from both parties that was deceased. They were more of that money thing. So my grandfather, he put me away because he was my guardian at the time, because my mother just left me with him. Left me in the house, no paperwork, just left me. Yo, that's my dad, and you gonna stay over here with him, and he don't love me, and all that other foolishness that they do when they bickering and beefing with each other. A lot of children be products of the beefing in the lineage. So I went into the home with my grandfather and his girlfriend and 9 other children that was in the home, plus some children, some stray children that she took outside the home. I was actually a stray child as well, because the only reason why I was known because of my grandfather, but it wasn't like my grandfather had too much say in that house. So basically I was a stray kid too. But staying in there about 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6 months in that year, 6 months in that year, that's when things start changing. It start being, dark. Things start, you could see the real them. And that's why I always say the being demonic just don't come from relationships. This stuff stems from workmanships. It stems from family ships. So as I start living there and start getting comfortable there, they start getting comfortable with me. And being able to start getting comfortable with me, they all people that's dark or dark families, they observe you just as well as your relationship observe you. And as they're observing me, they start getting comfortable with me. And as they start getting comfortable with me, they start, making little small moves on me. Not right away, but enough. So going over into it, at one particular night, that's when things start happening. And I was always a fighter. I always put up a fight about anybody trying to harm or hurt me in any type of way. So this is how I got that bite mark on my wrist right here. I don't know if y'all can see it. I'm trying to bring it closely. Right here, it's a bite mark right there on my wrist. You can see it. There you go. See it right there. Right there, that bite mark. My uncle bit me. We got fighting because I'm fighting this man off. Like, I'm your niece. Like, I'm really, if my grandfather is your father, I am literally your niece. And we had it was a big dispute. And the next 2 days, not the next day, but the next 2 days, I get a phone call from school that I had to leave school. And mind you, I had holes in my shoes. My hair was nappy. I learned how to plait my own hair at that particular time. You had one plait over here, one plait over there, one plait here, and you part it in the back, and you got a plait here and 2 plaits there. I had my hair plaited. I plaited my own hair. I had to learn because I didn't have a mother. I had to learn. God was teaching me as I'm going, basically. So the next 2 days after the event, I went to a session with a medical therapist, a crazy house. See, they got a lot of things. State hospital now. They say little sweet words for it, but then that was called the crazy house. Everybody knew it as the crazy house, the padded wagon. I'm laughing because I'm thinking about it now and the way they talked about things back in our day. But I went to the mental ward and got evaluated, and they put the red apple on a projector and said, tell me where the red apple landed at. It's supposed to be one on the table, some in the bed. I never forget this. Some in the basket. Can you put the saddle on the horse? And my grandfather girlfriend would tell me how to put the saddle on because she was trying to get a check for me because it wasn't no income coming in for me. So I basically was a free agent in her house, somebody that living in her house for free, and she didn't believe in that. Now with her kids, they could do whatever, but we weren't her kids, and that's what I talk about. A lot of parents, you got to be very careful when you're around people that don't have, they're not people children, because people have a tendency of mistreating other people children, and especially when they got some chaos amongst each other, which her and my mother had a lot of chaos. But my mother left me around these people that she didn't like, and I'm like, I never could fathom that. I'm like, well, why are you leaving me around people that you don't even like yourself? Don't ask me a lot of questions. Back then they were so evil. The darkness on those people were very evil. They were very abusive. But I go through the evaluation and heard no more about it. So I goes back, and they tells them, I guess they give them the results that she's in her right mind. You might need to try something else. She was devastated. She was very angry. She was very wroth. And about a month, this stuff still kept going. It kept going. It was getting real bad. And I went to school, and I told the school that they were touching on me. They did things to me, and the school got involved. So they put me in a group home. That's how I got to the group home. And they put me in a group home for a year. And we went through the court, and she had told the judge that I was a runaway, I was an adolescent, I was very rebellious, I was this, I was that. And my grandfather was actually agreeing with this lady. And I'm like, no, that's not true. But back then, adults' voices could override a child. So he was like, yeah, you sound rebellious. You sound, but I was actually taking up for myself. But back then, no child could speak on their own life. It was only what the adult said. The adult, it's like when you walk into a store, they got these rules that customers is always right. That's what was basically the way it was in, this real world. Parents is always right. The child don't have a voice. So I end up going into this group home, and I was growing strong. I end up being very strong at what I do. So what I do is getting away and healing from what was going on with me. No family took care of me. No family came and saw me. I'm in this group home alone. So they got me a mentor, and I got the mentor, a big sister mentor, and I'm dealing with her, and she getting me shoes, and she get me all of this stuff, and get me clothes, and taking me to the movies in Baltimore City. That's where I met her at. And that's where I was at, in Good Shepherd group home. It was like a boarding school with nuns, Catholics. It was crazy, but it was away from all the chaos. I was really at peace. It wasn't nobody touching on me. I had my own room. I met a lot of nice people. So I was getting acquainted, and I got comfortable because I didn't want to go back. But I turned 14, and it was only a year program. And when I got 14, I came back. No, I was 13. I was 12 when I went. I was 13 when I came out, and I was about to hit 14 because I came back in December. And I turned 14 February the 4th. And when I turned 14, that's when I met my kid's father. But I was damaged. And when I met him, I just was meeting him again to get away from the family members that was abusing me severely. So I met him going on 15, because I met him, I think it was wintertime when I met him as well. And I end up dealing with him and living with him and moving with him. And everybody was like, let her go. She good. She go. Let her go. It was just what it was. So I got with him and I was damaged. I was so damaged as a child. And I say this because when those portals open up to me, the lust portal, being molested, being around a lot of flirting, a lot of alcohol, a lot of sin. I came up in a lot of sin. You don't feel it. You don't feel that you are dysfunctional. You don't feel that, it's something wrong with you, because you're numbed and you're being possessed by principalities, entities. So you're not feeling that there's something wrong with you. You just walking around on a daily living, and you actually adapt to the brokenness. And I adapted to that brokenness for a very long time. And I thought I was fine. Who don't think that they're fine? I thought I was actually fine adapting to the brokenness. But I was wounded real bad spiritually. See, physically, people can get away. Like, physically, people don't like to do physical abuse too much because it's evidence. But when you are spiritually getting abused, those are wounds that you can't basically see, but the person actually cry out about it, but it don't have real evidence unless the person live around the individuals that is doing this to you. I gotta make sure I keep my phone. That's the individuals doing it to you. But as me, I used to speak on it, and a lot of people didn't want to hear it because a lot of people going through it themselves, and I notice a lot of people don't like to talk about situations like this because it's like they have to face their own demon. They have to face their own demons, and when a lot of people have to face their own demons, they're not comfortable with it. They're not comfortable facing something that they need to bring out the grave and go ahead and deal with. A lot of people don't like to have mental funerals. So that's why a lot of people just go on and live on this false image, because that's what it is. It's an image. Give me a minute. It's a false image that a lot of people live on. And living on this false image has a lot of people living in denial, because that's what it really is. I never believed in living in denial, but I did have pleasure in being dysfunctional, because being dysfunctional, it felt like a lot of people loved it you more. When I start walking with Christ in 2019, I wasn't walking with him all the way because I still didn't understand the awakening. But when I start talking about Christ in the beginning, a lot of people start falling off. A lot of people start disappearing. A lot of people start turning away. A lot of people start ghosting me. A lot of people start giving me the silent treatment. A lot of people start lashing out. A lot of people start saying, reckless things. And now that I'm looking back on everything, which I said I'm going to break all of this down to you all piece by piece, try to get a sturdy time and day for now, because I done cut everything off now. And I'm basically, I don't have my old book chapter is closed. I want to speak on these spirits because I lived them. Those spirits lived on me for years without me even knowing that I was demonic myself. I knew I had lust issues. I knew I had that because I got that from portals open up from my uncles. But I didn't understand principalities. Everybody talk about the devil. Everybody talk about Satan. But I'm not, you don't know that you are part of a rim that you can't see, basically, is what I'm saying. I never even understood that there was an invisible realm. I never understood that there are demons, principalities. Nobody really talks about that. And especially where I came up from, ain't nobody there say you're the devil or you're evil. But, those are words that you just overlook, because if you can't see it, who gonna believe it? And I didn't believe it because I didn't see it. And I was really actually naive to um the words of sin, the words of darkness, the words of the devil, the words of demons. Um, I wasn't never taught that they had personalities, that they had behaviors, that you can have their traits. But I didn't understand it came from being wounded. When you are dysfunctional, it's like a normal life you're living, but you know that it's a lot of chaos. It's gonna be a lot of drama. It's gonna be a lot of discomfort. It's gonna be a lot of issues. It's gonna be a lot of arguing. It's gonna be a lot of fighting, because I did a lot of fighting. I wasn't not too much of an arguer, but if I did have to start arguing, I'm gonna speak some things that probably would make you want to take me off this earth, because I'm gonna speak the truth. I always observed and held on to things, but I didn't really like to hurt other people's feelings. But when they start hurting my feelings and felt like it was okay to do so, then when I come back, it was like a ambush. That I'm sorry if I'm looking up, y'all, because I got my TikTokers over here. I got to go over there in a minute as well. But if it was like a ambush, that everything that I had inside of me, I just put it back at you all at once, because a lot of people took my kindness for my weakness. They must thought because I was so kind, which I'm extremely kind, but I did have a very dark side. Like, just don't wake the beast up. Deal with the beauty part of me. Do not go and wake the beast up, because once I start, I did not know how to stop. And I always used to be scared of that side of me, because I didn't know how to control that side of me. But I did know how to control being loving and kind and caring, you know, being loving and kind and caring to other people. That was just a trait that I thought that, I was living off of trauma for, but that was a trait, a gift that God had given me from birth. But not knowing that, because my family never talked about God, they never talked about the fruits of the Spirit, they never talked about Christ, they never talked about Holy Spirit, they never talked about none of that. So if you don't know none of that, how you gonna believe it? And as I was growing up in life, I was used, and being honest to you all, I was using men's as sex dolls. I seen them as sex dolls. I did things to men out of anger within. They didn't know that I was holding on to this bitterness. I didn't even know I was holding on to this type of bitterness that was within me from my uncles and them. I knew it was a resentment. I knew I was out to one day revengefully get them. So when I would have intimacy with whatever guy I was dealing with at the time, or whatever other guy I was dealing with, because once a man would show me that he ain't faithful, which I wasn't faithful either, because when I got in a relationship with a man, when I got in a relationship with my kid's father, I had already had a boyfriend that I was dealing with at the age of 13 years old. I would go to his house and have relations with this dude. My grandmother, I called him my grandmother at the time, my grandmother, my grandfather, and everybody in the house, they was okay with it. Like, okay, we'll go walk. And I never forget his name. It start with an E. We'll go walk to his house while his mom was at work. We'll have relations. I come back at the age of 13. Like, they allowed me to do that. Like, that was a-okay in that household. That sex was a-okay. You going, when you get back home, clean yourself up. And then I met my kid's father, and I never forget my grandmother. And I call her my grandmother again, y'all, but she really wasn't. My grandfather girlfriend, she sat me down and she was like, you got to choose between who you want to be with. And I'm like, I'm only 13, I'm only 14. Like, I'm sorry, let me carry back. 12. I was 12 when I was dealing with him, because 13 to 14 I was in a group home. So at the age of 12, me and this dude, I can go to this dude's house and have intercourse with this dude like I was a full-blown woman. Like, that is something you don't supposed to do at a 12-year-old. But I felt grown. I felt mature. I felt big. They let me have intercourse with a man. You feeling grown. You're feeling, you know, like a woman. But I wasn't. I was being abused because I was already getting abused in the house sexually at the age of 10 and 11. Because that's when I got to them at the age of 10. I was with my uncle at the age of 9 while my mom was in jail. But when I came back, my body had got a break from my uncles and the guy that my grandfather and them was A-OK for me to go at the age of 12 to walk and go have intercourse with this dude. So when I returned back to their residence at the age of 13, about to be 14, because they took me away at the age of the end of 12, something like that. But it all came into the age of being 14. Hi, Sunshine. Age of 14. Hi, baby cakes. At the age of 14. So that's when I met my kid's father. And I was already tampered with. I was already mature. I was already defiled. So when me and him got together, it was like, and I told him, I was like, I already been here. I'm at the age of 14 telling a man that I'm already defiled sexually. And he was like, it's okay. So I started dealing with him, end up with him for like 13, 14 years. And it ended up with abuse, cheating, having kids on him. My last son, we had to do a blood test because I didn't know if that was his child. It was a lot of dysfunction. The dysfunction was severe, but it looked normal. It looked like it was functional because everybody with it, everybody cheering it on, everybody cool with it. It was like A-OK, like, okay, she's grown now, but I wasn't. I was a broken child living an adult life. Yes, it is. It absolutely is, because it matures your mind demonically, and it brings severe. It brought a lot of attention to me, so it opened a portal to flirtatious, however they say that word. You do a lot of flirting, so it opened a big portal of flirting to me. Like that demon was on me so strong. When I come across some men, I was touchy, like I go up and grab his butt, or if he was attractive on the outside, I'll go and look at the part of his pants. You know what I'm talking about? The size of his pants, and see if it was really real. It was very out of control, and it grew with me. At first it turned into, it was anger, dirtiness, defiled. Then it became enjoyment. Like, I can conquer you. The older men, I can conquer you. The younger men, I'm trying to conquer. And I'm like, I can't stop what I'm doing. I even told my kid's father, he said, you love your man. But I had broke it down to him when we got halfway in the relationship. I said, I've been touched before. And he said, you've been what? I said, I've been touched before. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It hurts my heart to talk about it, but I'm so sorry you had to go through that. It does. And right now I'm on the last healing journey that I'm on, and it comes back up a little bit, but I'm dealing with it, because it's a lot that I want to say to my uncles, but they keep dodging me, but I'm going to let it go. The Almighty said, just close the chapter. But when you get touched on like that and you understand, you put it in the back of your mind, because for years, people don't believe you. Those people would not even hear me out. And these supposed to be professional professionals with degrees. They're supposed to be able to read energies. They're supposed to be able to, see people for what they were. They didn't see my brokenness. Them therapists, those crazy house staff people, whatever you call them people, they didn't see my brokenness. Yes. Yeah, I understand, baby. I understand. Man, that took me a long time to digest because I didn't talk about it for a long time. I didn't, and I was like, who gonna hear me out? Who gonna believe me? Who gonna listen to me? If you put me around these professional people that say that they can read energies, they can understand, they can they can know the behaviors. Why don't they know the behaviors of molestation? Why do I have to tell you that I've been molested? You should know this off the gate that I've been molested. You should know off the gate that this home that I'm living in is dark. So they said that I was out of control. So I never forget when I was in there with a therapist. I said, why do I have to tell you my life? You should be able to know what I'm going through. You sitting up here believing them, but y'all is not asking me about me. So what is this these sessions for? What are we talking about? You should already understand what I'm going through. And I never forget, they throw me in a padded room. It had pillows on four sides, like a panic room. And they throw me in that room and had me in that golly straight jacket. I never forget it. And my arms is like this, and the buckles was in the back of the jacket. And I'm wilding out. I'm wilding out. I mean, like, I'm really wilding out. Like, I'm not playing. I'm wilding out. Like, bro, y'all not believing me. Like, y'all sitting up here taking their word, and y'all supposed to be this and y'all supposed to be that. So they say, if you don't calm down, we're going to stick you with some with a needle. So I was like, I seen how the other people will walk around the mental ward. Yeah, psych ward, that's what it is. Yes, that's what it is. They had me in that psych ward. Thank you, baby. That's what it was. Man, we call it the crazy house back then. That was a crazy house. Psych ward, that's the name for it now. But they had me and they was like, if you don't behave and you don't calm down, they had a needle in their hand. They said, we're gonna stick you. And I always seen how those people will walk through the hall. Those people would be zombie-tized. They would be slobbering at the mouth. They would be looking up at the windows and stuff. And I used to cry because I'm like, why? What's wrong? And they take advantage of these people right to this day. That's why when I hear that these terms narcissist and MPD and mood swings, of course you are. You're taking medication. They're not nice people. No, they're not at all. They feel like you are beneath them and they have the upper hand. And if you don't do like they say, they will damage your life. These people are gatekeepers. They are gatekeepers from the truth. They only do it for money purposes and arrogance and they self-centered, and they very prideful people too, because they do it for money, status, and entitlement. And these people ain't no better than these people out here in the world. They are gatekeepers for a lot of chosen children, a lot of chosen ones. A lot of people have lost their lives because of that medication that these individuals that went to school to read a book to tell you how to do this and do that. And they will come in a group and they will restrain you. They will beat you. They will do all kinds of stuff to those people. And I just calmed down. I was like, I'm not going to go that far for letting them stick me, because if they stick me, they're going to continuously stick me. And it always used to be something to me saying, just be quiet. So I went in the little corner in the straitjacket, sat there and put my head, I never forget it, just sit in my head and put my head on the side like this and cried myself to sleep. And the next day, they opened the door and they was like, you can go back to your unit. And I went back to my unit. And from that point on, I just kept my mouth closed until I got out of there. And when I got out of there, I was like, this is something else. Jazz, I'm sorry. Absolutely. And I always tell that because people be like, oh, the medication, it don't work. I was talking to an individual young lady. She was talking about the depression medicine they gave her. She was like, it don't work, Siobhan. I was like, because you need to come off of the medication. You got to go sober. You got to detox your life. You got to get in prayer. Prayer is your medication. You got to get in fasting. You got to talk to God. I said, these people on this earth are gatekeepers. They want people stuffed with medication. They want you to keep running back to them saying that you can't heal. It's no way for you. I did. I'm a walking, living witness. All that my family as gatekeepers, all that this society, these people that's connected to the grid for money purposes, entitlement, fame and fortune, gatekeepers. I went through all of that. And I ain't on one medication. Excuse me, y'all, for my little patches. They my acne patches. I didn't go through one moment where I lost myself. I just went through a lot of pain thinking that I'm going to lose myself. But the Almighty God had me protected with all I went through. That's why I can call it out now, because now I'm in my purpose. I'm in my power, and I can see. I don't need nobody to sit down and tell me their story. I can see the story on them. You can see the pain. You can see the entities. You can see the wounds, because we got the spiritual eyes to see all of this. And I tell people this all the time. Going into therapy, and she was telling me, she was like, I'm going to get off. I said, get off the medication, baby. It's only going to burn and fry your brain. It's going to tear the cells from your brain. It only makes you slow. It only makes you think slower. It makes you just steer off into space. It makes you just feel like you're not capable. You're not worthy. It makes you feel have insecurities, have low self-esteem. I told her, get off of it. And I help her when I go check on her, and I ask her how her day going. And it's gonna come with some, some irritation. It's gonna come with some side effects of breaking away from some things that you only knew all your life, that we were told that this is what makes you a better person. It makes you a worse person. It's spiritually destroying you. I did not take the medication. I did not do anything. When they came in, I learned how to hide. I had all my teeth then. I learned how to hide the medicine back here. And when they say shake your mouth, I knew how to hold it, hold your tongue up. I knew how to hide it up because I got high cheekbones. So I knew how to hide it up in my upper jaw up in here. I knew how to do it. I sat there and mastered that. The Almighty was working with me with it. They come in, take it. I stash it up there. Open your mouth. Because it's going, when it's wet, it's going to stick to you up here. And it's stuck way up here in my high cheekbones. I used to master when people try to hurt me. I never allowed it. When I see that this wasn't right, and I always had the spiritual vision, but I just didn't know what I was seeing. I knew it was something beyond and far beyond than what this realm would give. And when I get out, they'd be like, Siobhan, you don't seem crazy. I'm not crazy. These people are abusive. And our family members been doing it for years. They did it to their own family members before us, family members before them. This stuff been passed down through the lineages, the matrions and the patrions. These people been doing this stuff for years, only for money purposes. These people feel entitled to your life. These people are workers of iniquity. And I tell people this all the time. These people are workers of iniquity. These are the biggest gatekeepers in this world to stop you from getting into your true purpose. I never stopped. I would never let nobody tell me that they can tell me about me. I know what I've been through. You're not going to tell me I got to take a medication to get over it when I didn't need a medication when I went through it. The damage is done. Now I got to fix the damage, and medication ain't it. Medication is not going to stop the damage. It's not going to stop the mind from rolling 24 hours a day of what somebody did to you, what my uncles did to me, what my grandfather, my mother, my father. I can't speak on him because he never entered into my life and never did nothing to me. So I respect him wholeheartedly for that. Even though I can't never tell him that because he passed away when I was in the psych ward. He passed away. I never knew him. They knew him, but I didn't know him. I get this meeting, the psychiatrist come and get me in a little room. Your father died. I was like, who, my grandfather? No, your biological father. I don't know him. I never knew him. So why am I being told this? Do you want to go to the funeral? Absolutely not. I don't know the man. I'm not going to go to a funeral I don't know. I'm not going. I didn't go to his funeral or my mother's funeral. I mean, I didn't really know them people. I only knew the dark side of them people. I never knew their genuine side, the true heart, who they're supposed to be. I never knew that. So why would I want to go and sit at a funeral? Because I didn't cry at none of the funerals. They took me, my grandfather, I didn't go to none of the funerals. For what? These people didn't show me love. They showed me how to be dysfunctional. They damaged me and they never repented. So I'm very unapologetic about anything that I've done. I don't apologize for nothing. These people put me through serious warfare, demonic warfare, and they try to take me for Satan's purpose. See, they went by what Satan wanted them to do because they were wounded individuals. So when I went through all of that, I didn't let them drug me up. I didn't take the medication. I told them I'm not taking that stuff. You don't take it, we're going to stick you. Stick me with a needle. You're not sticking me with no needle. I don't like needles either. You ain't finna hit me with that. I'll be quiet. In my head rolling. And I'm only being quiet because I fear needles. I don't like a needle at all. I hate needles. But I said, I'll be quiet. They didn't know I was scared of needles, but I knew I was scared of needles. But they're supposed to be so powerful. These people supposed to be so entitled. They top of the food chain, but they can't discern what we feel. They can't discern what we got going on in our mind. Us chosen ones, when you get around us, we can discern what's on you. We can discern how you feel. We can understand what you're saying. We can tell your heart because we have the spirit of the living God within us. Them people don't have the spirit of the living God within them. Yeah, see? It comes from the family. It's a family trait, a family demonic trait. And a lot, and the sad part about this, a lot of people that's aged in the flesh, but still questionable in the spirit, they is still in a same one track mindset. And it's so sad. It's so sad because sooner or later, that narcissist, that tread, absolutely, absolutely. This narcissist behavior and all that, people getting tired of it. People now gravitating towards the truth. People want the truth because they know that these therapists and all this stuff, they know that this stuff is a lie now. It's a lot of people gravitating towards, you're the black, yes, you are the black sheep, baby. Yes, you are. And guess what? You can wake up because I'm here to wake up chosen ones. That's my mission, to awaken. But I awaken with the real, raw truth. You can get up. I'm here. I'm a living witness. I'm a walking prophecy. I walked the word. When I got awakened in 2019 and the Almighty said, you got to do this, do this, do this. And this person going to turn on you. That person going to reject you. It all happened. But it left me with what? The peace that the world couldn't give me. And I love who I am till this day. I thank the Almighty for who I am. I thank the Almighty for giving me his eyesight to see this world and the people in this world and the evil things of this world and the gatekeepers of this world. I thank the Almighty for giving me that vision to see. Now I'm here waking up other people. It's a hard mission, but it ain't too hard for God. If the Almighty put me in that environment, and when he pulled me out, my presence going to still linger in that environment because it was genuine. The Almighty Spirit is very genuine. It's real. It's raw. And it got truth. It ain't going to be no lies tearing in the Almighty presence. But when you got Satan, it's just so many different lies and manipulation and control and trying to conquer, trying to feel entitled, trying to feel all kinds of things, So the way that the Almighty got me hot wired, I love it. And I'm not going to ever go back. I can't spin the block with these people. With my family, I had to close the door on the very few that's left. And my oldest son is the last one that I had to just walk away from him because he played all up in the Almighty face after the Almighty. He went into a trial that in this city that I'm from, not the city I'm in right now, but the city that my hometown, the Almighty let him walk away from a murder trial. He got acquitted. In that city, nobody gets acquitted. Nobody. No, I can't. I had to walk away from my child. And that's a hard when you have to walk away, family. That is one of the hardest detachments because you've been in that bloodline for so long, and they told you that love was lies. So you are loving off of lies. You're not loving off of the truth. So your love is not genuine. You're not loving each other genuinely. You're loving each other toxically. So now that I know the truth, I don't do it anymore. It's just, I'm not. I got a little birdie. Look at this, y'all. I don't know if y'all gonna be able to see it. He gone now, but he's sitting on my hood. Yes. So I absolutely. And we loved off of lies, and them lies had us believing when we got into relationships, we loving people off their false selves. We're not loving people off their genuine selves because it takes a lot of work to get on the other side. So a lot of people rather keep it on the false side because they don't want to do the work to get on the other side. But I'm here to tell y'all, it's worth working out. Y'all do get our help. Not everybody, but a lot of people do get help. Us chosen ones couldn't get help getting awakened. Man, that stuff was so hard and horrible in my life. I thought I was like Jonah. Just go ahead and take me out of here. I ain't gonna kill my own self because I'm not suicidal, but go ahead and take me out of here. I never had a suicide thought, but take me out of here. You take me. You created me. You take me, God. You brought me here. You take me. That's how I used to be. Just let me go to sleep and don't let me wake back up. That's all I ask you. But now I understand my mission. Now I understand a lot of people run away from the truth because their false self, they're holding up an image from lies. These lies are being loved on. And when you love on lies, that means you got to keep feeding them. But yeah, I know. It's the almighty strong sunshine. It's the almighty baby. It ain't me. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't choose this. And y'all, and you know that. You got to be chosen by the almighty. But all that I've been through and losing everything and seeing the hurt that we had to love. Who loves hurt? They had us believing that pain was love. Pain is not love. Pain is pain. It's abusive. But I didn't know that the Almighty take chosen ones to absorb all that pain so we can transmute it into power. That's how the Holy Spirit makes you resilient through pain. So we grow through pain. We go through abuse. And I didn't understand that. But now I understand it. When people try to bring it my way, I'll be like, I see you for who you is. Okay, let me have some of it. But now people know we're awakening. Now they're just now watching. They're watchers now. They're watching from the rooftop. They're watching from the bushes because they know we here now. It ain't going to go away. That's why now in a lot of these channels, these people putting in buying followers, but these followers are still not buying it no more. Yes. Well, you keep crying. Crying is soothing. Crying is healing. I could not cry. I couldn't cry. Give me 1 minute. I couldn't cry. 44 years of my life, I did not know what crying was. If I cried, it wasn't because I'm compassionate or I'm feeling sorry. I'm crying because I'm angry. Now my crying get ready to turn into the Terminator. Now I'm about to make some situations become very destructive. When I cried, I was destructive. But now I cry genuinely. When somebody hurt me, I cry because I can't retaliate or I can't react on it. So I cry. I let, a couple of tears, it don't stay long, but they do come down. But missing my daughter, I cry. Now I cry when I miss her or I see a photo of her. I cry because I miss my son in prison. I cry because those babies were my everything. But I cry because it's soothing. I don't cry, because I'm angry. I cry because it's healing. It's nothing wrong with crying. Now I can say that. Before I used to be like, why are you crying? What you crying for? Oh, you soft, you weak, you're vulnerable. But those are true emotions. And I call those emotion, crying emotion, that because I didn't understand it. But now I understand it. Honey, it feels great. Cry. Let them call you soft. Let them call you sensitive. You know you're not. You know who you are. They're trying to guess who you are. And my family did it for a very long time. They try to take my kindness for my weakness because they see me waking up. So they try their hardest to stop me from waking up. And I'm woke now. And they cannot even look at me. They get burner accounts to watch me. They get other people accounts that they think that's close to me to watch me. I blocked everybody on my TikTok. I blocked them all. And if they come up talking reckless, if you got 2 or 3 followers, you're off of my TikTok. I went through it the other day just to see. I even had a friend that had about 4 or 5 pages. And I went to his original page and I start loving about 15 videos to let them know this. I know this is your page. Now, I don't know who's behind all them other false pages and all them burner pages, but I blocked every one of them. If I type his name in, and well, we were friends when I first met him. I haven't talked to him in a while, but when I type his name in, and they got all these different type of followers, like 200 and this and that. It was the Almighty, and I can truly say it. The Almighty worked, the Holy Spirit worked on me night and day when I lost her. When I tell you it hurt so, I ain't never felt losing somebody you genuinely love. I loved my children genuinely. Having that relationship, even when she was out there on drugs, I didn't care. That's my child. She was a gift to me. That was the greatest gift of all. It wasn't no gift in this world could make me turn on my child, even though she was turning on me left and right. But I knew it was demons on her, having her to, flex on me. I didn't care. I was like, I don't care how your demons got you acting. I'm going to love you. You my baby. And she would sometimes, that she wouldn't talk to me. If I text her, I wouldn't hear from her in a month, maybe 2 months. And I'm like, well, I ain't get no phone call, so I know she ain't gone yet. I was like, they got a way in the system to find out who's what and what is who, believe me. And I was like, they'll contact me, or they'll find me some kind of way. She'll pop back up 2 months later. Hey, Mom, how you doing, Mom? I'd be like, how you doing, baby? I said, and I couldn't get no sleep. I couldn't just rest my head on a pillow and knowing my daughter was in North Carolina running the road. I knew she was tough in darkness. She did a lot of wicked things when she ended up getting on them drugs. But I was like, baby, don't you want to clean up? You can come back up here. So I did bring her back up here with me one time. They're not gonna get better. Even though I wanted it for her, but she had to wanted it for herself. She gave it a good shot to staying clean for a year. But when you still see them smoking weed or drinking, they're trying to cope with the real drug. They trying to, use the easy drugs as they think they're easy. They're not easy either. But they're trying to go back to the mild drug to get over the hard drug. But she couldn't do it. She just couldn't do it. My son in prison, he couldn't do it. He was saying, cash at me. And they was like, we getting Quan food. We getting Psycho. They call him Psycho. I was like, his name is G Quan. He want $75 for this. He want $100 for this. But the whole time they were feeding in the system, they were feeding them drugs. They had correctional officers that was bringing in pharmaceuticals for them. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So this is where all my money going to? And when the Almighty said, it ain't no food, it's drugs. I called the warden. They, shut the system down. They reversing how they check you now. When I went to the prison the last time, the one that I told the warden that, it was drugs moving through the prison, I called Raleigh, the headquarters, to tell them what was going on with that prison. That shut that prison down, got rid of all the correctional officers, redid the system. But look at this. Y'all think he keep flying. Look. Wait a minute, he gonna come back. Hold on. This is crazy. He gone again. He come on a windowsill. That's the third time. That's too cute. But them drugs is hard to get off, and he gave it all. And this last time, he started it when he got transferred to another prison. I called the warden, and they moved him to another prison. He is not around these people that he's familiar with. This prison that he went to the last time, he familiar with all of them. I had to pray about it to the Almighty, like, listen, do something. You got to move him out of there, because it's going to get only worse. He might end up losing his very own life because he was familiar with that prison. So the Almighty moved him again. So right now, he's off in Charlotte, North Carolina. But it's hard. It's some days and I don't get moody. I just shut down and heal, like cry. Like you say, I do a lot of crying to myself, but I never get moody. I never get angry. And even though my heart is heavy, sometimes I still go and uplift other people. So, I love who I am now. And I don't, try to not hurt other people. I don't have no hurt in my bones anymore. And I have to glorify the Almighty God for that reason, because I used to be out with some revengeful thoughts, even though I got this little crafty smile on my face, but deep down in my heart, I was wounded. I was wounded really bad. So, that's all for today. If any, I want to put my email. I do want to do one-on-ones on YouTube, but these folks on TikTok, I got this man. This man last night was on my live, Duckathon. I think that's what his name was, Duckathon. And this morning I woke up to all of these messages, and he told me that I was his wife. I'm laughing because these men, they will try to make you. He say I'm his wife, and he sent me. There we go. Look. I was telling him it was part of the awakening. He said, my sister is smearing my reputation. I said, it's part of the awakening. And I'm keeping everything. And this is what he tell me. He sent me a he sent me a ring, and he said he want to marry me, honey. He said, you is my wife. And I say, I gave him a love. He said, I mean, literally, everyone has betrayed me. And I'm serious. You're my wife. We got work to do. He telling me, like, let's go. Let's get it. Let's get on your grind. He trying to, look, and then going to send me a ring. And then he going to tell me, marry me. I mean, like, they really... They be really coming hard with me over there in TikTok. And I'm like, I'm not marrying him. Like, he was like, does that sounds crazy? And I didn't respond to him. And then he said more stuff like, he'll come and get me, and he'll put me up in a hotel and tell we get a house, he get this. And I told him, I said, I don't even know you. He's like, you ain't got to know me. I know you're chosen, and I need a strong backbone as a woman. I know what that means too. I don't even know you enough to go move to East Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I think that's what he said. And he kept asking me what my location was. I wasn't going to tell that man my location. I don't know you, bro. I'm not going to give you all my... off the rip, you just want to marry me. You ain't even trying to figure me out. You ain't even trying to get to know me. You don't want to talk about what triggers us. What's your background? You just told me what your sister doing. I don't know. I got to read your energy before I can even make any type of move like that. But he wanted to get married instantly. Let's get married. I'm like, what? Hold, wait a minute, pimping. Hold up. I can't marry you like, and then I mean the crazy. Ooh, they be coming hard on me. And then he got the ring. The ring. I'd say when he says literally they betrayed him. I love that because it's the truth. But he's not the one. I don't know. I have to get to know him. But he said, "Marry me." I mean, I'm not saying he might not be the one, but you got to get to know a person. I just can't go and marry that man. I just met that man last night. I don't even know that man, nothing about that man. He came in my inbox after the live. He said on the live, God told him, and you know on these internets, God tell a lot of people a lot of things, and it ain't God talking to them. See, sometimes people get loneliness mixed up with, being alone. Triplet on the best. Here. Hi, this is Sam. Hi! Another account, I'm probably going to use this one now. And my dinner tonight is Burger King. Ooh, it's bad. It's bad for you, but I only get it once a month. It ain't bad for you, baby. You go ahead and eat you some Burger King. You know what? I'm gonna go get me a burger junior double cheeseburger meal. That's what I'm gonna eat today. So we're gonna eat Burger King together. So when I get off this, I'm gonna go get me a little Burger King. And before I get on my TikTok, and if y'all got TikTok, come over there on my TikTok. And nice to see you, Sam and Kobe, baby. Yeah, I have to get to know him, Sunshine, Claudia. I got to. Because even though he saw me on live talking, do you know it's a lot of people that talk very wise, but once you get behind closed doors with these people, they're a whole nother person. You got to be very careful. Your account got hacked. Oh, I'm sorry about that, baby. Well, the good thing about it, you can make a new one. It probably was time to make a new one anyways. I have another account that I made just in case something go wrong on this account. And it's Siobhan Anderson. I haven't really been over there doing anything on it. But I'm going to start. I'm going to start doing something over there on that account. But that's in my original name. But this account just says spiritual therapist, Bail-bondsmen. But I do have another account, Siobhan Anderson, that I made just in case something go wrong. You know what I'm saying? You always want to have a backup. And I got to do that with my TikTok too. Just in case something happened, I have a backup account. I think I do got a backup account, but I can't remember the email on it. But yes, I got to get to know him. I got to if I want to. But be as though he's trying to rush it that fast. As long as he's not Nigerian. What's wrong with I mean me, whoever God sends me, I will know it because my intuition, my telepathic, the energy, the frequency of the person let me know. I know he looked good on the outside, but I don't know what he got going on. If he talking about his sister, she hurt me. When I give up my testimonies, I give them because I overcame them. I'm not angry with my brother. I'm not angry with my sisters. I'm not angry with my family members. I just cut them off and I gave my own self closure because they're not healed. They're in sabotaging mode. So when they're in sabotaging mode, I can't be around these people because they'll pull me down. Even though I'm pulling up, they're going to try to pull me down. And when people try to pull you down, they're not going to be able to, elevate you. They're going to de-elevate you because they are in a very devastating time in their life right now. So I'm not mad with them, but, they did all that to me. And he asked me, he said, is you a targeted person? And I was like, if I'm a chosen one, of course I'm targeted. People gonna target me all the time. But the Almighty closed their doors, so the ones that did target me was family and people that, attached to them that they told lies about me too. I'm not worried about that because I live who I am. I ain't got nothing to be afraid of or ashamed of because I'm not gonna put on no performance to make people believe I'm something I'm not. So, I got to get to know them. And it's so many of them. I got so many people that I could optionally know, but I'm a woman, so I don't want to, and I can see and I can feel and I can tell by conversations of these individuals. Wait a minute, y'all, I got to put my watch on. These Apple watches, they're something the best, but then it gave me a ring around my arm. You see how they do it? Take your real color away from you, huh? I don't think I'm getting no circulation there. But and I got to stand up for a minute because I've been sitting too long. I just got to take my time. I just can't rush into anything. You know, it's a lot of men over there that come at me. It's a lot of men that check on me. It's a lot of men that, you know, say I'm their wife. He ain't the first one. He ain't gonna be the last one. But you know, I got to feel out the individuals, and they're not approaching me correctly. So I watch all of that. So once God show me who He is, then I know who He is. He'll know that I'm His woman. He'll know I'm His wife. I'm His friend. You know, we'll be lovers. We'll be builders. You know, that'll be all in the one. And you know, He'll know that the way am where I'm at now is waiting on my husband, because he'll know that he have to complete me. You get what I'm saying? You're the best, baby cakes. You're the best. You better know, all of you all that see my videos, y'all are the best. Y'all know I feel that way about everybody. But he'll know that I'm gonna be that. He gonna have to complete me. I mean, you know, because he got to get me uncompleted. I can't be completed. That's the way to God. You know, His word is about. The woman can't have everything. She got to keep her focus on God. And when the husband come, like Boaz and Ruth and Esther and the king, you know, Deborah, all the women in the word of God, they were incomplete until their king came and completed them. So, you know, I got to move very scarcity. I mean, very strategically. I'm sorry. Because what I got inside of me, everybody can be a part of it. So, you know, that's why I just don't rush into nothing. Even though people can say that I'm their wife, people can say that I'm their backbone. They over there, they waiting on me on TikTok. Even though people say I'm their backbone, even though people say this and that, just because they say it, that don't mean God said it. So that's why I say I have to be very strategic, you know, on, like, in this big old world I'm at now. Men want me all the time. I won't go for it because I know their energy. I can feel it. So when I can feel something, I know either that demonic spirit is vibrating off of that individual soul and the inside of them is still locked up. So once a person unlock what's inside and let that true self flow, then you can feel the difference. See, I go by vibrations. I don't go by, you know, words. I go by the energy of people. So he'll come. Whoever he is, he'll come. I'm not gonna take every man that tell me I'm his wife. You're my rib. You're my wife. God told me so. What God told you? But I love you all. I gotta go, babies. Y'all all be great, be kind. Y'all see my little patches? I went and got, because I'm going through another transformation. This is closing the whole chapter. I had to walk away from my whole individual family, including my oldest son. So when I go through transformations, I get little spots, you know, little bumps. And I found these acne patches, and I'm trying them out to see, you know, it cleared up, because I had a little dark spot, I guess, being around my son. His energy, his demonic energy was so dark, and he had that real strong murdering spirit on him. And he would curse God in front of me. He would say all kinds of things, and I just say, you know what? And I told his baby mama, I said, I'm all right. I can't do it here. I don't want to do it here. And you know, I was giving them money, so much money on top of money. They were draining me in every kind of way. And I just told the Almighty, I said, I'm taking this last leap of faith. I'm out. I'm not returning back. And you know, when you go through transformations like that, you know, them demons try to hit you hard. They'll try to affect, you know, that vibration. I had to pull away from that darkness. So, you know, I had to get my little patches. So y'all gonna see this on my face. I don't know how long it takes to disappear, but that's what these are for. I'm doing self-care on my face, and I got some more self-care products that I'm, you know, being kind. And I got me some baby body wash and all that, you know, just to start, you know, pouring back into myself, because for them 4 months I had to take some very hard hits from the devil with my son and the family again. So this time the chapter is closed. So, you know, y'all gonna be seeing me speaking from all areas of life. So now I'm close that chapter. I will not spend the block. So my son did have a chance to redeem himself and to repent and get it right with the Almighty, but he refused. He cursed God so bad, and no. I can't live around that. I just can't, because he really opened that door for him to be a free man with no probation, no supervised nothing. And I even helped the lawyer get him through it. So that's where I'm at with it now. He won't give God the honor. He says Satan got him out of jail, and that's who he gonna worship. So I got to leave him where he at. That's who you worship. I don't deal with Satan at all. I will not deal with Satan at all. So if you dealing with Satan, that means I can't deal with you. So that's where it's at. And I had to give him 1 month to get my grandkids phone lines. They take over their phone lines because I'm cutting everything off, and just going on about my life. But I love y'all, but I got to go right now. I got to go stand up and walk around a little bit, because sitting real, wear and tear on your legs and feet. So I'm gonna get up and walk around for a little bit, and I love you all. Then if you got a TikTok, thank you for the love, baby cakes. If you got a TikTok, come join me over there on Spiritual Therapist. That is my TikTok platform, and I will be going over there at around 5 o'clock. I'm gonna give myself nice to see you too, Queen, and nice to see you, all your queens and kings. Nice to go get me some Burger King, because I told Sam and Kobe I'm going to get me some Burger King, because I haven't eaten yet either. Did I eat anything? Yes, I did. I had I'll see you later too, baby cakes. Yeah, mama too. You already know. I had a rice, a organic kale and gluten-free noodles with a little bit of cheese sauce in it. So I ate that earlier today, because I'm trying to eat healthy too, because I'm going through another transformation. So I got to keep myself up through this transformation. So if y'all see me losing a little weight, is because I got to stay eating a little healthy right now. I can't do a lot of sugar right now, because it's going to affect my transformation that I'm going through. So I'm going slow right now. You feel me? So I love you all. Y'all all be beautiful, kind, and caring to yourself. Whatever happened to you, absorb it. If you ain't one that nothing happened to you, I am here to help you understand what could happen to you. So I'm here to let you know, stay out Satan's way, because everything that said that they out here praying, they're praying. Prey. They're not praying, they're prying. I love you all. Y'all all have a great day. And check me out at 5 o'clock over there on Spiritual Therapist. I love you all. Y'all all be great.